So, Amphibia! It's a thing, and it's a thing you should go and watch right about now. If you haven't, well, I would say I don't know why you're watching a video on a character you've never seen the series they're from, but I really can't say anything. I've done stuff like that plenty of times. So in that case, just to make sure we are all clear, spoiler warning, right here, right now. If you've not seen Amphibia, I thank you for the view, and I implore you to go and at least give it a shot. On the surface, it does look like, you know, your average kids cartoon, I'll give you that. But there is something under there, and especially after the first season it really starts to show its true colours. So go out there, give it a try, I promise you, you won't regret it.
My promises are not legally binding, please do not try and sue me for this, I will sue right back at you, come on, you think you can take me?
Okay, so, for those of you who are still around, and who have likely actually watched the series, first and foremost, I apologise for the pun back there. Second, well, let's talk about Sasha, shall we? It seems like she's kind of the forgotten one of the trio, and I mean, it's not hard to see why. Anne is the main character, she gets most of the awesome moments, and she's just an all-round really good MC. And Marcy is, well, she's Marcy, probably one of the most instantly likeable characters in all of modern animation, who, of course, goes on to be so much more. Sasha, though, it's a shame because she does definitely seem to get overlooked, both by the fanbase and by the show itself. Despite the fact that, as the name of the video might imply, she's an excellent character with a lot of agency in the story. And despite everything I know I just said, she is a fan favourite. So let's go over her journey, shall we? I know you'll have seen it in great detail already, but trust me, this is important. We start off with Sasha being a bit of a mystery, like Marcy. For most of the first 10 episodes of the show, during the silly hijinks and fun in Wartwood, in the back of our minds as viewers, there's this teenage girl imprisoned in a faraway tower, clearly not having the best of times. But the best part about this is, even before we get to see her properly, we can get a fairly decent glimpse into what kind of person she is from what Anne describes. She's someone with a lot of hold over our protagonist, and one who isn't averse to breaking the law, and appears to be quite the manipulative presence. All of this starts to form our opinion on our titular gal, before really seeing what she's like, and it's a great first impression when it arrives. Really great stuff here already. Prison Break is definitely a top tier episode of Amphibia. We get to see Sasha and Grime go from manipulative prisoner and ruthless jailer, to untrusting allies, to some kind of legitimate partnership between the two, even if it's clear there's still plenty of tension between them. After that, well, we all know how it goes. Sasha loses everything she's been trying to get back since arriving to this new world, and bonds to the one that stayed by her side despite everything that's happened, and a little vice versa. Together they regroup with the Toads and essentially force them to follow in their plan with a weapon that doesn't really get talked about both in and out of the show. Barrel's Warhammer is awesome! And after tracking down the other girls, befriend them once again in order to recharge the box and get into Newtopia. Then, of course, everything falls apart once again. She's beaten, she's down, and even after reconciling with Anne ever so slightly, she gets a front row seat of her other friend being stabbed in the back, literally. With no other choice, she runs and takes up residence in that weird little village that Anne protected with her life that one time. Finally taking her actions into account, she swears to be a better person, and yeah, that's pretty much how she stays. That's the end of her arc really, and despite a kick-ass final battle against the core, which we will get to, oh we will get to, she spends the rest of the season as a genuinely good person. So, where do we even begin? Well, let's get this one thing out of the way. Sasha is an excellently done redeemed villain. Other examples that I'll be comparing to her throughout are the likes of Darth Vader, Prince Zuko, Hector Barbossa, yeah, you know the type. But part of what makes Sasha so interesting, and such a good character, at least in my opinion, is how this redemption, this change of character, and her relationship with other characters is handled. Take someone like Vader, for instance. In the original trilogy of Star Wars, his development is very linear. I'm not calling it bad, not bad at all. but it's definitely a straight path from Dark Lord, right-hand man of the Empire, to redeemed father, with an extra step of conflicted Dark Lord somewhere in the middle. Again, it's done very well, but it's a very simple straight line. Sasha? She goes from damsel in distress to reluctant lieutenant to full-on second in command of pure evil, to basically being the main driving force of said evil, to pretending like she's not evil at all, to full-on anarchist trying to take over, to wildcard ally against the new true foe. Do you see where I'm getting at? Almost every single episode we see Sasha, we see her playing a different role in her arc, and it works brilliantly. Outside of her role in the story though, there's her relationships with the other characters that make up what make her such a good antagonist slash rival slash hero. And let's be entirely honest here, there's only two that really matter, and I don't think I need to specify who they are. I'm not the first to say it, and I won't be the last, but Grimes' relationship with Sasha is like if Iroh was actually a villain in Avatar, but still doing his best to look after Zuko, and it is brilliant. And trust me, if you somehow haven't seen Avatar, that's very high praise.
I'm so proud of you.
And a move that I don't think anyone saw coming when they first saw the two of them together, or even by the season 1 finale, but their bizarre, badass, lovable father-daughter bond is a gargantuan part of why this girl works as a character. And I did consider changing the name of the video to Why Sasha Works, but now let's stick with this. Honestly, Grime is a character that deserves a video of his own, but let's just say for now that his relationship with Sasha is difficult to put into words just how fun this chaotic duo is to watch and follow. And of course, the other is our main girl Anne. Yes, there's also a relationship with Marcy to consider, but honestly she got more development with Percy and Braddock than with our girl. It takes a bit of a backseat with Utopia and the music box get the spotlight, but in my personal opinion, the friendship of these two is a solid chunk of the backbone of the whole series. And normally, seeing them flip back and forth between being good friends and enemies over and over again would seem tired or repetitious, but the show actually manages to make it feel natural. Anne versus Sasha round 1, and the result of it is easily the big highlight of season 1. And even though round 2 is, for good reason, overshadowed by other events in True Colours, looking back, it's an awesome confrontation. I think being better than their original clash in every way. Whether you're talking about choreography and animation, dialogue, some parts of their fist fight are a little...
They're not just frogs. They're my friends!
Pretty much every way outside of the ending, maybe. All this, and I'm not even touched on this little duo in the second half of season 3, outside of some obvious choice moments, is probably the least interesting or deep part of the relationship, purely because it's as simple as they're once again good friends. But dang it, if it isn't fun. And that about does it with the main relationships of the cast. Okay, I lied. Her passive-aggressive, or just, aggressive rivalry with Sprig is amazing, and I love every moment of it. The dinner is a top-tier episode, despite me. Now here's the thing. Everything I've mentioned so far has been incredibly positive, and that's no mistake. When you see Sasha on screen, it's almost a guarantee that the episode you're watching is going to be a good one. The bad part, she really does get the short end of the stick when it comes to episodes, doesn't she? In season 1 there's 39 episodes. Sasha appears from start to finish in 2, and has what is essentially a post-credit scene in another 2. But this is okay. After all, for the first half of the first season, as I mentioned, she's specifically meant to be a mystery. What's not okay is season 2. For the first 32 episodes of the season, from Handy Ann to Bessie and Michelangelo, before reuniting with Marcy and Anne in the Third Temple, Sasha appears in 2 episodes total. Thankfully, she does get a lot of focus on all 4 episodes after her return. And once again, aside from maybe Third Temple, they're all top tier episodes. Go figure. And what's really, really not okay is what's done with her in season 3A. Sasha just rolls up, gives an incredibly emotional episode filled to bursting with potential for what can be done in the formation of an Amphibia resistance. Anne just completely dips until Anne returns, and we only see the end results of this character growth. What I'm trying to get at here, if it isn't obvious, is that Sasha needs more time to breathe as a character. While Anne gets dozens of episodes to slowly develop her relationship with the planters and other members of Wortwoods, even other characters like Marcy and her mother, every time Sasha is on screen is because she absolutely needs to be in order to advance her story, nothing more. A way I could put it is that while Anne's relationships manage to drive the story forwards, it's more like the story drives Sasha's relationships forwards. Despite being one of the main characters and essentially being the instigator of Anne's character flaw, the driving force for our protagonist's development, she feels really underutilised in what can be done with her. Take Toadcatcher. We go from the tower being destroyed in the season 1 finale, but you know, there's still being a whole army out and likely swearing revenge, the Grime being a drunken, neck-bearded burnout who's apparently cast aside 99% of his army, though he's spent half of Sasha's episodes so far getting loyal to him again. Now here's the thing, this could be really interesting to see, and you know, Toadcatcher's a great episode, but you know as well as I do that all this is just hand-waved away in a quick bit of dialogue. The issue of Sasha being thrown under the metaphorical bus when it comes to screen time and importance is also very, very clear when it comes to Season 3. This isn't exactly a problem unique to our favourite, absolutely natural blondes, but it's definitely one that has massive missed potential over Season 3. We find out absolutely nothing about her parents. I'm not asking for them to receive a whole lot of screen time or development like the Boon Choice, but even just the slightest hint of what they're like with Marcy's, would be very much appreciated. She clearly got this controlling personality from somewhere, and it would have been fascinating to see how it could have been passed down. Or at the very least, have anyone in the real world acknowledge there are 2 teenage girls that have been missing for almost half a year. I know it's not the cheeriest topic for Disney Channel, but yeesh. Again, this is a problem that Marcy largely shares, but it doesn't not make it a problem for Sasha. Still, despite all that, seeing her go up against Darcy, battling against that version of herself that could so easily have turned out to be, geez, imagine if Sasha had ended up in Utopia instead of Marcy. Things could have gone wrong very fast.
I've never had willing subjects before, and let me tell you, it makes a big difference.
It does feel earned, and it feels, as much as I hate the word has been butchered these days, epic. Oh, and I'm just going to put out there, her final goodbye with Grime is one of my singular favourite moments of the show just in general. It's absolutely perfect. I have no other comment on this besides that. They remain a perfect villainous duo throughout that range between Team Rocket to legit threatening and all the way back again. Love them. So, there we have it. From the main antagonist of the show to lesser of 2 evils to leader of the heroes, and so much more. There's so much packed into Sasha over the course of so little episodes, and it's supremely impressive. I just feel like there's even more that could have been done. And that's why SASHA WAYBRIGHT is the almost perfect redeemed antagonist. Well, I hope you enjoyed as cheesy as that ending was. And all I'm going to say right now is, yeah. Please, subscribe and share. I would so massively appreciate it. If this gets a good amount of views, I'm definitely going to do another Amphibia video. I'd love to delve deeper into the themes and relationships of the show, something that I think has been really underlooked. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.